One, go. Hey, Joe, how did my mom and dad meet?
Well, they after they went both went to school, uh, and your dad was a pretty smart guy. He went down to the Westinghouse and said that he was a graduate from the Westinghouse, and they said they looked at his experience and so forth, and they said we got an opening for you up in Scranton.
Sharon.
What?
Sharon, Pennsylvania?
In Sharon.
Yeah.
He says there's a
Motors or
not a battery, but
motors?
yeah, well, motors and what's hanging on the pole out there.
Transformers.
Yeah, they made a lot of transformers up there, and they were going to make your dad into a transformer manufacturer. So he went up there and he worked in the office, and he did something in the shop too, and he did something in the office, and that was when he was in the office. They had a blonde girl there, and he managed to move his desk pretty close to her, and well, that turned out to be your Don's mother, you know.
Really?
And
this is during the war years too, right?
Well, then once they got caught up in that, then he started to turn bombs. You know, he started to make bombs running. I don't think he ran a lathe, but he had a couple of men who ran the lathe under him, and they were making bombs. Things about 12 inches long. You fill them with powder and fire them, you know. And then they I don't know if they got married after the war or before the war.
I think it was like 46 or something. Must have been after.
Yeah, it was after the war. Then they got married, and John, my brother John, had a place up in Sharon too, and I used to visit up there, and John and he and I would all get together and have fun, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I learned to help people in the neighborhood. We would go up there and work in the fields, you know, for free because John was a good neighbor of theirs.
Yeah, you know what? I do remember Nina telling me stories about my dad would come up there and ride a horse or something. She was telling me some story one time.
Yeah, one time he come up there and rode a horse. He got on got on the horse, and there was and he went across a bridge which was right near there, and it was a Rickley bridge, but John was pretty smart. He led the horse across the bridge, and he said, "Okay, Tom, you can Bill, you can get on and ride the horse." So Bill got on and he rode the horse all up and down the river, the small river there. But then he decided to come home, and when he got up to the rickety bridge, he wasn't smart enough to get, or he didn't know enough about horses, so that he didn't get off the horse. He tried to take the horse across, and the horse bucked him off. He wouldn't go across. So then we had to go out and hunt the horse, bring him home. Yeah, it was a nice horseback ride.
Oh, thanks, Joe. That's another story of Joe Schwartz telling stories about Bill Schwartz, Mary Kay, Tom, Don, Jerry, Paul's dad.
Well, I don't think he'd been on the horse more than once or twice, you know.
Yeah, who has?